Guess who's back? Yes, it's me. It's Freaky Music Girl. Finally back. No, you missed me. Well, I have a lot of things I need to update on. But I just want to start by saying I miss y'all, and yeah, since I'm back, I've been like a YouTube addict, even worse than what I used to be, going and checking out everybody's videos, and yeah. But I guess I can start by saying one of the reasons, well, why I've been for the past 2 months. I've been in the hospital, and which was supposed to be a 6-month program, but I got early, and yeah, that's where I've been. February the 6th, I tried to commit suicide, and when I went to the hospital, they committed me to a short term, which was like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I ended up going into a long-term facility. But I got out yesterday, and yeah. I guess you're all curious. Why would Jessica be in the hospital? Well, I was feeling really, really depressed, and nothing was going right, and it was just a very bad time for me, and so I decided I was going to overdose. I tried talking to many people after I'd done it. I had overdosed on aspirin. I took many pills, and it wouldn't work, and I was confused. Just like I read up on all these things that says, oh, it's gonna work, and it didn't. And so I was very confused why it wasn't working. So I was calling some people. I was trying to hint around that it was me, but I was trying to make it seem like it was somebody else. I had called one of my best friends, and I had called one of my family members. And I was just trying to say, there was this girl, and they didn't know who she was, but as far as they knew, she was one of my friends online, and she had overdosed, and I was wondering what was going to happen. To me, I was hoping that I was going to hear something negative, which I did, that it was supposed to really hurt her really bad if she didn't get any medical attention. Well, so thinking that it was going to work, I spent all night online until I had taken it at 6, and I think it was right around 9:30 or 10 o'clock. And I didn't feel anything. I was just completely numb. And so I got really, really mad, because I was like, why is this not working? This is supposed to be working. And so I went into the bathroom and busted open one of my razors and got all the anger on myself. I was like, if medicine's not going to do it for me, I'll do it for me. So I went in there and, I busted up the razor and started cutting myself, and it was a total mess. Just a total mess. There was blood everywhere. It was just crazy. And for some reason I went and got my uncle, called him up and stuff, and I don't know why, but I went to the hospital that night, and they ended up giving me a lot of medicine and stuff, and trying to see what was wrong with me, and they knew I had overdosed, and they knew, my arms, but they didn't technically know what to do. They couldn't pump my stomach because it was too late, and the effect was already taken. So they're just trying to wait it out and stuff, and give me all this medicine, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible. I barfed, I was sick, and I couldn't eat anything. I mean, they took all my food away from me because they knew I'd overdosed, and so I was stuck on liquids, and it wasn't even liquids. I barely could drink any liquids. I was dehydrated, and it was just crazy. And they had told me that night that I was going to be committed to a hospital, and I really didn't want to go. I was kind of under the understanding that, I cut myself, I want to go home. But I did have a lot of stitches. I had 39 stitches in my arm, and because of the severity of it, I had to go to, a hospital, like not a long-term hospital, but a placement hospital. And so I went to MIP, and I stayed there for 2 or 3 weeks. And within the first 2 days, they had noticed that I had some aspirin still in my blood. It turns out, what we had came to the conclusion of, that the aspirin that I took, which I really didn't know, it was more of a split thing, but it was coated. So when I was in the hospital the first time, they thought that it was out of my system, but it really wasn't. So when I got to MIP, that's when it, when something dissolves, it has a coat, when something dissolves, it's going to burst. And that's when it actually really, really did take an effect. I was in the hospital for 3 nights, and I was really, really sick. I kept throwing up. I couldn't keep nothing down. They took me off food. I couldn't eat again. The only thing that they would let me have was clear liquids, which nothing could have caffeine in it. It was basically water, all they would give to me. And I was hungry. I was so, so hungry, and they wouldn't feed me, and it didn't make sense to me, because I'm like, look, I'm throwing up with food, I'm throwing up without food. Just feed me so I can throw it up either way. I was so angry. And I just looked horrible. I was pale, I was weak, but the short version is they got me back up on my feet. And I'm very thankful for it, but then at the same time, I guess I'm not. But anyways, I went back to MIP after it all got on my system, and that's when they told me that I was going to go to a long-term facility. And I was so, so mad, because I was planning on going to Furman. I was trying to get on the softball team. I was looking for me a job, and I had all these summer things planned out, and it's like, if I go to this summer facility, well, not summer facility, but if I go to this long-term facility, then I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm not going to be able to have a job. I'm not going to be able to get a permit, and just all this stuff. And I was just confused, and I was angry. And I remember that was the day that we had a family session, and everybody just broke down. And it's hard to even think about it now. But I went to the 6-month, the 6-month program, and I did really well there. I got out really quickly. I got out in 3 months and 3 weeks, which it was a 6-month program. And yeah, I've been doing good. And I've not cut since the night of the suicide, which is very good, and I've not had urges for 2 months now. So I'm better. I'm just stuck with memories. And yeah, that's where I've been for the past couple months, and that is the reason why I've not been making videos. One thing I would like to share is, and I'm really curious as to people's opinions on this, and I know it's really debatable, and I really probably shouldn't say anything, because it is religion-based, but I'm just wondering, what is y'all's opinions on suicide? I'm not promoting suicide. I'm not telling anyone to commit suicide, because I'm telling you, not in this experience, but in most experiences, that when you try to commit suicide, you later find out you really don't want to. You really, really don't want to. But do you think you're people that have religion, okay, and some people, they don't believe in religion, and, that's understandable. I don't judge nobody, and I have my own opinions, and everybody else has their own. But people that are religious, do y'all think you go to hell if you commit suicide? And I have a reason for asking this question. When I was in the hospital the second time, I had my father come and give me a speech on hell suicide. It really wasn't him giving the speech, it was more like his girlfriend giving the speech, but I could tell he was wanting to say the same thing too. And they were basically telling me that if you commit suicide, you're going to go to hell. Well, of course, I'm very debatable, and I totally disagreed with it, and they totally found out that I really disagreed with what they were saying. But they just came up here with a Bible, okay? I'm in the hospital because I just overdosed and slit my wrist. I'm weak, I'm tired, because every 2 hours I have someone coming in to take my blood. And you're going to come here and you're going to give me a sermon in my hospital room? Who are you? But they came and they gave me this whole speech and everything, and it was about, basically what I said. If you commit suicide, you go to hell. And the person that was in there with me, I had to have a sitter because, I was committed, So when I went over to the hospital, I had to have sitter with me. I was talking to her all night because that really, really upset me, because my theory on the whole thing is, if you have salvation, no one can take it from you. You cannot get back your salvation. I mean, you know, that's just my theory on it. Because if you believe in God, you believe, I mean, you know the quote, John 3:16, you know, whosoever believes in him, everlasting life. And I believe that. But that's what happened, and that's the question I really, really want some of y'all, whether it's in video response or, you know, just comments. I really want to know y'all's opinion about it. I mean, no one's really going to know. I mean, the only person that does know is God and the dead, I guess. You know, people that shot commit suicide. That's the only way you're going to find out the answer. But I really want to hear y'all's opinion. And I guess I'll end it here. I'm really happy to be back, and yeah, miss y'all. Bye.